At the end of yesterday's episode, I was saying we would glue up our little crosshairs right here. And I'm going to just raise this up. Let's see, which one is this anyway? Is it pushing down or, oh no, maybe I should be pushing it down. I just want to make sure that that the crosshairs are actually making contact. So this one goes down, and this one goes up. They are definitely making contact right now. Now there was one other thing I was thinking, and that is if I have one of these little wires, running from the coat hanger to the mast, like this pin right here represents the mast, would it be a good idea maybe to glue it all together now? But then I thought, well, no, because what if, in order to have this spreader bar parallel to the aerials, I have to hook onto maybe a little bit more this way or that way on this V shape, if you know what I mean. So maybe that's not a good idea. Although, the more I think about it, the more I think it is a good idea. Just put this right back here. I could try it, and if it doesn't work well, I can always make another one of these. Let's see. Now I must have bumped something here because this is pulled crooked. So I must have bumped my clothes peg. Something is too tight here. There we go. Yeah, I must have bumped the clothes peg. There, it's getting back to normal. Let's just try that. Just try and put a little bit of CA right there. Let's see if I can get in here without bumping anything. Okay, I'm going to have to reposition. Okay. Now, it might not be too clear here, but I'm using the holder downer to add weight to that wire. From my perspective, it looked like I had our little wire right over top of the crosshairs. You can see it's not. I couldn't. Yeah, I botched it up, but good. I almost feel like not showing this scene, but I show everything, right? The good, the bad, and the stupid. I do believe we've got it. You got it all right, Ron. Now go stand in the corner. It is the next morning. Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's any use leaving this wire attached to our easy line. I think I may as well just break it off. Yeah. Maybe I'll use my crochet hook here just to pry against. My goodness, that really glued on there really hard, didn't it? Now that's surprising. Actually, that's kind of good news. Oh, by the way, I did put the spreader bar on the other end. I did it a little bit differently. I'll show you. See, maybe it was to hook in. No, that just will not come off. I know what happened if I took it in my fingers and sort of rolled it. Can I do that? Well, let's not beat this to death. I'll probably just have to do it off camera. And at least this is holding really well. Okay, so what did I do different here at the other end? Well, right now there's no CA on my applicator. But what I did was I took the applicator, instead of trying to drop the CA from the top, I brought it up and touched it on the bottom like this. And then, of course, the same on the other side. And it seemed to wick its way along the edge of the rail and into the easy line. And as near as I can tell, we are not stuck to the post here. I mean the pins. Now mind you, I guess to you they look like posts because they're enlarged so much, but anyway, I think we can come off here now. Okay, let's take our tension off here, and we will save this little piece of easy line because it's probably about 5-6 inches long and we might need it. You know, I just can't pick stuff up anymore. Okay, for that viewer that is wondering why I'm always using the tweezers, well, this is why. Now I know sometimes I could pick this up, but if I've got the tweezers in my hand already, then I'm going to use the tweezers. I might even use them for this, who knows. Anyway, let's do one more here. You notice how good these scissors that I reshaped the other day work right at the very end. Like the last 1/4 inch works really good. They will not work well up here. Oh, so why don't I use them all the time? Because they are so wide. Like there's length, or rather width. So I've got the length and the width and the thickness. Maybe I should say because they're so thick, I can't get up close to something easily. So yeah, that's why. And I know I should have different scissors. Do I really need to take all these out? I could probably use this same template or form or whatever you want to call it, or jig, for the next one if I decide to do this. Okay, that seems to be holding its shape fairly good. I have another idea. Like rather than, maybe I should put the macro lens back on, rather than gluing this wire to the place where it joins on, I've got another idea. I'm thinking maybe take the wire and put a little hook on the end. And I was thinking, well, how am I going to make a tiny little hook? And then I thought, well, who says it has to be a tiny hook? Well, I'll put the macro lens on and I'll show you what I'm talking about later. So, okay, now, do we use Ian's idea of making a little coat hanger? Or do we use Martin's idea of making the whole thing in a hexagon shape, using only strictly the easy line? And first of all, try and hold this down. See if I can scrape that off. Maybe there's another way I could have done that. There we go. Okay, now, so long as I've got the macro lens on so we can all see it, Let's just try and cut this off. I can hardly see that. I mean, I can hardly see that it's not, you know, I don't know what I know. Okay, I wonder, should I try and trim it down just a little bit more? No, usually when I try that sort of thing, I end up making it worse. Now, just to keep perspective here, here is my unmanicured little finger. Now, I always have to keep messing around until I actually do make it worse, but I just want to see if possibly we can trim that little knot or whatever you want to call it. Oh, by the way, the Ian that gave us these hands months ago is the same Ian that recommended the coat hanger. I'll see if I can't just get this very carefully in there. See, the reason I like to use these fingers is because they hold so gently. I know they're not going to wreck anything. And the reason I want to get them in Ian's grasp here, so I'm trying to continually hold it so you can see what's going on. Now, if I put this on here like that, okay, then I can raise the whole thing up in the air. Whoops, if I don't throw it on the floor, that is. And then I can use the super macro, and we can look nice and close at this little knot or whatever you want to call it. Oh, it's not a knot, it's a connection, isn't it? Now, I don't know if we're seeing it any better or if we're just seeing it bigger. Maybe if I hold a piece of white paper behind it here. All right, and we'll do the same thing again after. Now, what is the thing that I say a lot whenever I'm using this shop microscope? Well, I say I wish you could see it the way I'm seeing it right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim that connection, and you're not going to be able to see me doing it, and I wish I could show it to you because it is like 10 times clearer than what you just saw it with the super macro. Mind you, I haven't looked yet, so how do I know? Now somebody is going to be really observant here, and they're going to notice that it takes very little focusing to actually, get this piece lined up in my view. And they're going to be thinking, if this is your first time, how is that possible? Well, I had already pre-focused on the little black dot that's on the plexiglass. It's 11 times clearer. Now, I know this is not exactly the same view as we had before, but we're pretty close. I'll put my paper behind here again. And, well, at least we kind of got rid of some of it. Undoubtedly, we've weakened the joint, but I think it's going to hold. We'll test it out later. And, if it breaks, then I'll do it all again. But I won't make you have to watch. Anyway, I want to show you the benefits of Ian's coat hanger, even though we're going to be using Martin's idea. Sorry, Ian, your coat hanger is a good idea, and I'm going to show you why. Here we are at our Bismarck. Almost forgot what it looked like. Anyway, let's pretend that we're going to run one of those lines from this mast right here down to here. And I know it looks like the ladders broke off here, but it's not. Anyway, now what would have really been nice about these coat hangers is that it could have been, see if I can somehow make a little bend in it here. Okay. It could have been fastened on the end like that and then glued right on the end of that part of the mast. Forgotten already what it's called. And it could have been angled at just the right direction all the way down towards this one. Now this one, of course, would have been done the other way, like so. Now what we would have done is, after the CA had dried on the ends here, we would have just run our easy line in between the two. Now that was my original thinking, but I think I was sort of going along with this because I didn't think I could do Martin's idea. Now this is a really good idea, and if for some reason Martin's doesn't work out, well, then we'll be doing this. You will probably remember when we were looking at all those different gauged wires, and one of them I thought was just too small to use or too fine to use. I don't know what gauge it would have been, but anyway, it was really, really small. I think we're actually going to be able to use that now. However, that's going to have to be tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we will see you tomorrow.